everyone, Shelly Hall here from Mote, and I'm just excited to be here with you today, guys. Really, the purpose of this video is to train you so that you can go out and train your teachers as well. It's a good way for that ripple effect to happen. There's so many new and impactful features with the Mote, and I have a guest here today with me, Brittany Horn. She actually has been working directly with teachers and students exploring Mote and its features. So I'm going to have her talk about it. Britt.
Thanks, Shells. I think you guys are going to love all of Mote's features and you're going to feel really equipped to teach others as well. So what we're going to do for you guys is we're going to show all of the sidebar features that you have access to with Mote. You'll notice that there are now 3 different modes within the Mote sidebar. We have the reading mode, the writing mode, and the creating mode. So we're going to walk you through each tool pretty quickly here. The first one within reading mode is read aloud. This is going to read from the top of the page down. So I just have a Google Doc open right now and you'll be able to hear it read aloud for you.
The life cycle of a butterfly. Stage 1, the egg. The life of a butterfly begins.
Okay, you'll notice that with Mote, this is not a new feature, but you can always go in and change the voice that is reading. You can also change the speed that it's reading at. So that's really helpful within all of these read aloud tools. The next tool on the sidebar is select area to read. And what's awesome is now we have open a PDF and select area to read. Really, these read aloud tools are going to work anywhere on a scanned in image, within a website, within a PDF. So we just want to show you how they work on different platforms. So I'm going to click select area to read, and I'm just going to choose that section that I want read aloud.
I love Mote because it allows students to express their ideas and ask questions.
So this is really awesome because a lot of times our students don't need the whole page read aloud, but they're looking for a specific question or a specific paragraph. It helps them chunk their reading as they are reading aloud. You'll also notice that human-like voice with Mote that we love. It's very easy to digest, kids love it, and it's not hard to understand. Now, if you guys are like us, where I work, we have a lot of emerging bilinguals, a lot of students that English is their second language. So we are going to show the translate tool. So I can click select area to translate, and I'll move down here on the page. There are over 50 languages to choose from. For right now, we can see Spanish. You're going to see the transcript in Spanish, but you can also hear this read aloud in Spanish as well. Notice I could have chosen any of these different languages to translate into. So this is really awesome. It's breaking down barriers and allowing content to be accessible to any student, no matter what their language.
You know, Britt, it also breaks down those barriers with students, with teachers and parents. So if you notice, you can hit that copy button and put it into an email. So anything can be translated very quickly and simple in an email as well.
I love that. I love that. So now we're going to open up a web page so that you can see some of these other tools just in a different platform. This one is the dictionary. To use the dictionary, I'm simply going to highlight a word. So I'm going to highlight the word transformation here. Automatically, it's going to give me the definition. And then Shelly's going to talk about Mote Mastery later, but there's actually a way to add different words to a vocabulary list as well, and even listen to this read aloud. So that's your dictionary. And then we've also got the highlighter. So you can see that when I chose to add that to the vocabulary list, it highlighted, but students have the option to highlight not just vocabulary, but they have a set list of things they could highlight: main ideas, evidence, questions, and they can even change these categories up if they need to. So what's great about this is when we're reading online, a lot of times we get in the habit of scrolling. Mote allows us to slow down and annotate as we read, and it's all built in for the students. I didn't have to create a thing. It's just right here for us. So if I was going to say that I had a question about this section, I'd simply click apply highlight, and it's going to save all those for us.
Don't forget about that. The C one, the clear, you can clear out your highlights as well for students. That's handy.
That wasn't really a good question anyways, so let's do that.
That makes sense.
And apply highlight, and now it's cleared away. So yeah, that's a really good point. And then the last tool that you have in reading mode is screen mask. Now I can change the color here. I can even change the thickness of the screen mask, but this I know is helping a lot of our students stay focused on the reading. It's an accommodation for a lot of our students, and now it's built in directly to Mote and works across platforms. All right, before going into writing mode, we wanted to show Mote in Google Forms because the read aloud option in Google Forms is saving our teachers a ton of time, and also it's a huge help to our students. So you'll notice with the Mote extension installed, I have Mote on top of my Google form. All I have to do is turn on text to speech and translation if I want translation available, and then add, and this form is going to read to my students. Now, I'm not going to see it here but I will see it when I copy that link for my class to fill out. So you're going to notice a little speaker icon that's going to pop up by every question and answer choice.
What
No
are the three
more
modes
reading-
within the Mote
Oh,
sidebar?
exactly. No more reading to every student, making recordings. And you can even tell teachers just to hold, or students just to hold down on that record button. And this is where they get the translate option as well. So you don't have to turn that on if you don't want it on. Same with read aloud and not. You could have one version that's normal and one that's read aloud. But I would say this is an instant win with Mote.
Yes, definitely.
And then writing mode. So we're going to go ahead and transition here. To change modes, it's very simple. You're just going to click the icon and then switch to writing. And I'm going to start at the bottom here. Voice typing is going to help our students get their thoughts on paper. We love Mote because it allows us to write our essays and get our thoughts on paper. I love that it will come through with the punctuation. I love that you could copy the text, but it's just going to put it directly on the Google Doc. So if I was using another tool, maybe like Canva, I could copy the text and paste it in, but here it's just going to write directly for me. And then I just start talking again when I'm ready for the next sentence that I want to type.
I love this. I've seen this being used so many times with students editing their paper, hearing their inflection in their voice and seeing where those punctuations should happen versus where they put it.
I love that. And then the last one here is one of the ones here is text prediction. So we can start typing. Mote is fabulous. So I can click here, I can play it, or just push number 1 to use that word in writing. So yep, number 1, essays, and it's going to predict the word for me. So I really love this. We didn't have a good text prediction solution, and Mote has been really, really helpful for our kids when it comes to text prediction. And then I also love that read aloud is on writing mode, because a good tool for a lot of our kids is to write and then have the writing read aloud to them so that they can catch any misconceptions before submitting that work to their teacher.
Exactly.
And then the last mode here is creating mode. If you have been with Mote for a while, you know that this has been here for a very long time. This is how Mote started, with creating mode. All the rest is new.
I'll call it Mote OG. This is Mote OG.
Mote OG, that's exactly right. And it's still very, very powerful. I love that you can create voice recordings both here and even within Google Slides. I know that's very popular. You go ahead and click. And this is where students could explain their math. They could read their writing aloud. So many things they could do. And then once this recording is done, notice I've also got the translation support. I can share this in a multitude of ways. I could copy the link, get a QR code. We use the QR codes a lot. Teachers will leave notes for students, or students will leave notes and they'll put those QR codes around the room. And you can download the MP4, and all of those are saved for you. So you'd be able to get back to any of those Motes. And once again, there's even a Mote recorder in slides where your students could add audio directly into slide presentations. Audio generation, I actually just used this today. Students wrote drama pieces, and then they pasted their text in here so that they could hear it read aloud in a really neat voice. So they can choose the voice that they want, but it's a great way to then take your writing or whatever it is and have it read aloud with a really, really nice voice there.
Nice.
Yeah. Audio upload would be if you have an MP3 that you want to upload here and turn that into a Mote. And then my content is going to allow you to access all the Motes that you've created. So they never go anywhere. You can always reshare. And that's really nice too. You can see where they came from and how to share those.
Wonderful.
And you might be wondering, with all of these tools, can I disallow maybe some of the tools for my students? Maybe not all of my students need all of these tools. My classes in Mote is really powerful. When you go to mote.com, you have the opportunity to add a class. What's great about this is that I can enable or disable tools for my students. So after seeing all of those tools your students have access to, you might know that not all your students are going to need read aloud for your class. So you can actually turn that off. You'll notice that if a student goes to multiple teachers, it's going to give you a note. This was disabled by Brittany Horn on 8/21. You can choose whether to override that or not. It's just a subtle, hey, just a heads up, somebody else doesn't want their student using this. But then when they go to their class, they can turn it back on. So teacher is in complete control with Mote classes. I highly recommend setting up classes for your students. And it's really easy. You're going to just share a link with your students in any learning platform for them to join the class. That's a one-time thing. Then they're in, and you can turn on and off the tools per student. Shelly is going to share with us one of the newest best features with Mote. It is called Mote Mastery. A lot of what we looked at is helping students digest content. It's helping students create and learn, but this is going to give students self-paced practice, and it's very intentional. So Shelly, we're excited to hear.
Absolutely. Thanks, Britt. So this is the Mote Mastery. You got to Mote Mastery by clicking on the sidebar and just clicking on Mote Mastery. So you notice your first thing that pops up is your vocabulary. So it's a list of all the vocabulary that your students have this and you have this. So all the vocabulary that your students ever clicked on to apply, then it's a list of vocabulary there. So if you click on matching quiz, this is brand new. It's kind of like a gamified of the definition. So they can play a little game of matching the words and the definitions. They can listen to the word, the singular word, or actually listen to the definition over here. When you go back, you can go to flashcards. So you notice you can, again, listen to the flashcards, the definition, and flip to see the words. So they can practice their words that way. Another game is this sentence star. You can choose quick, fast practices or a longer 5-minute mode. You can customize your own time on how long you want it. So this is just different ways that your students can practice their vocabulary activities. The next one is the highlights. So this is where Britt was talking about earlier that your students were to highlight maybe questions or main ideas, things like that. You can notice this is like a file cabinet of the highlights. Once I click on it, you see the different colors and you can filter out, I just want to look at the questions today. So then only your questions are there for you. And then you can, of course, export them and then decide on which ones you want to look at for the day. Mote Mastery really can be a game changer for you and your students, and just allow your students to either practice those vocabulary words or just keep a kind of file cabinet of those annotations. The next thing I want to give you is now we have customize your own Mote learning path. If you go to mote.com/courses, then you can send this to your teachers. They can earn certifications. They can become Mote certified. We have 11 different courses here that you can take, and they're quick. They're fast. You can see it takes an 11-minute read. You answer questions and you can get certified in the different sections of Mote. And also you can become certified. So please take a look at this. It's Mote Academy, and I think you would be happy with the results. But guys, thank you so much. I know that was fast and furious. Britt, you did a wonderful job of explaining everything to us. And I just hope that you are able to go out and train your staff, train your teachers on all of the new fabulous tools that Mote has to offer. So thank you. And as always, feel free to reach out to me, Shelly@mote.com. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank y'all.
So we actually have some breaking news because we've got a brand new feature within our Mote Mastery, which is that you can generate a vocabulary list to share with your students. So here I am in my Mote Mastery vocabulary tab. And if I click on this cool generate button up here, I can then put in a description and I will get a list generated for me. So if I was to say, create a list of 10 words for middle schoolers on World War II. Then I can click generate list and I will have a 10-word vocabulary list created, and you can put it in for any of your different groups of students, and then once you've created it you can share it with them, and it just makes it so much easier to then build up that vocabulary and share it. So here we are. I've now had my list of 10 words generated, so you can go through and you can select or deselect words if you don't think that they're quite right for your group of students, and you can search through as well if you're looking for words in particular. So there we go, and I can create that, and boom, I've created this list, and now I can share it and I can assign it to my classes. So once you've created a class, you can then click choose class, and there you go, I've got my 2 classes that I've created there, and I can click that and then share it with them, assign it to them, and they'll be given those vocabulary words into their vocabulary list when they go into Mote Mastery. So it's that easy, and boom, you're done.